If I was born to be a winner, then I'ma grow up to be a go-getter. Blood, sweat, and tears written in the blacks and kings. 1 in a million, the billions of half.
Welcome, Formula One fans. Will Buxton here, and this get-up can mean just one thing. It's quiz time. 6 rounds, 35 points up for grabs. So let's get ready to play Grill the Grandstand. Now, if you're not already following along on f1.com, follow the link in the description so you can submit your answers and you'll see your score at the end. I'm going to be going through all of the answers at the end of the quiz, so if all you've got is a sheet of paper, you can still enjoy the quiz. So let's get into it. Round 1, and it's going to be 6 questions on home wins. Question number 1, an easy one to get started with. Which driver took his second home win and his last Formula One win at the final race of the 2008 season? Was it A, Kimi Räikkönen? Was it B, Felipe Massa? Was it C, Nelson Piquet Jr.? Was it D, Fernando Alonso? E, Robert Kubica? Or was it F, Rubens Barrichello? Question number 2. Fernando Alonso won the 2012 European Grand Prix in Valencia, but which position did he start the race from? No multiple choice here, just give us a number. Question number 3. Which team has the most wins on home soil? Is it A, Williams, B, McLaren, C, Ferrari? Is it D, Renault, E, Lotus, or is it F, Mercedes? Question 4. How many times was the lap record broken by Nigel Mansell on his way to victory at the 1987 British Grand Prix? Was it A, 7 times, B, 9 times, C, 11 times, D, 13 times, E, 15 times, or F, a whopping 19 times? Question 5. Here you can see Alain Prost taking his first win at home at the 1981 French Grand Prix. But how many race starts had it taken him to get to the top spot? Was it A, 17, B, 19, C, 26, D, 38, E, 41, or F, a sneaky 42? Question 6, and the last of this first round. Who is the only driver to have won the Formula One World Championship at his home Grand Prix? For the avoidance of doubt, that means who had enough points at the end of their home Grand Prix to be unchallenged for the remainder of the season. Here are your choices. A, Nino Farina. B, Alberto Ascari. C, Jim Clark. What about D, Mario Andretti? E, Nigel Mansell? Or F, Lewis Hamilton? Answers coming at the end of the quiz, so let's move on to one of my favourite rounds, everyone's favourite part of a Grand Prix broadcast. It's Team Radio. Now, you've just seen and heard a clip of radio from Lewis Hamilton's race engineer, Bono, from our F1 animated series. But can you remember which race it was from? Here are your choices. A, Hungary 2017. What about B, Hungary 2018? Or C, Hungary 2019? D, Germany 2016. E, Germany 2018. Or F, Germany 2019. Here comes the audio clue for Radio Gaga, question 2.
Okay, Fernando, NASA is 7.5 seconds back.
I don't want to.
That's Fernando Alonso in Canada 2015. But what doesn't he want to do? Is it A, save fuel? B, stay out on track? C, manage his tyres? D, allow his teammate to pass, or E, change to the hard compound? Wouldn't be a team radio round without a little bit of Fernando. Question 3 then, we're going to hear some very famous radio from a different world champion. All we want to know is, what year was this iconic piece of Ayrton Senna radio taken from? Type your answer in, write your answer down, 4 digits, not just the final 2 for your answer. Another multiple world champion to continue the theme, this time Sebastian Vettel.
If I don't avoid that, he's just going straight to my car. Honestly, what are we doing? Racing or...
Okay, the question then is, what 2 words are missing from the end of this radio transmission from Sebastian Vettel in Spain in 2016? 2 words. We need both in your answer. Okay, everybody got their answers in. Let's move on to round 2, question 5.
I want to hit people on that thing, for sure. He hits me now on the wrist.
Now, you didn't think we'd have a radio round without any Kimi in, did you? Of course not. But what we want to know is, which driver did Kimi say he wanted to hit in the radio message you just heard from Monaco 2013? Is it A, Adrian Sutil, B, Pastor Maldonado, C, Paul di Resta? Was it D, Jenson Button, E, Sergio Perez, or was it F, Nico Hülkenberg? Okay, last radio question now. Are you ready? Pierre Gasly took his Toro Rosso to P4 in Bahrain in 2018, but who was he referencing in this tongue-in-cheek radio message?
Unbelievable! Unbelievable! Congrats, guys! Grazie mille a tutti! Fantastic job! Now we can fight!
So your options are A, Daniel Ricciardo, B, Danik Fiat, C, Sebastian Vettel. How about D, Fernando Alonso, E, Max Verstappen, or was it F, Carlos Sainz? Only 2 years ago. Do you remember the moment though? And crucially, do you remember the moment it references? Okay, pens down. That's it for round 2. Time to move on to round 3, which is last lap lunges. Here we go then, round 3, question 1. Possibly quite an easy one, depending on your knowledge base. But the 2008 Formula 1 World Championship was decided on the last corner of the last lap of the very last race of the season. But can you tell me which country that race was held in? No multiple choice this time, just give us the name of the country in question. Question number 2. Here is a clip from last year in Abu Dhabi.
Oh my god, did you see the move? Did I go for it? Did I send it? Or didn't send it?
Yeah, you
Send it! Oh, that was tough, guys. Oh, thank you.
Who then did Carlos Sainz pass on the last lap of the 2019 season, prompting the radio message that you just heard? Was it A, Lando Norris, B, Nico Hülkenberg, C, Sergio Perez? Was it D, Daniel Ricciardo, E, Danik Fiat, or F, Antonio Giovinazzi? Question 3. Who did Kimi Raikkonen pass on the last lap of the 2005 Japanese Grand Prix to take victory? It was a belting pass, but was it A, Michael Schumacher? Was it B, Fernando Alonso? C, Giancarlo Fisichella? D. Rubens Barrichello, E. Juan Pablo Montoya, or F. Jenson Button? Okay, a more recent memory now for question 4. Max Verstappen controversially stole a podium position from which driver on the last lap of the 2017 United States Grand Prix? Admittedly, he then lost third place due to a penalty, but who did he put that slightly naughty move on? Was it A. Kimi Räikkönen? Was it B. Valtteri Bottas? C. Sebastian Vettel? D. Daniel Ricciardo? E. Esteban Ocon? Or F. Lewis Hamilton? Got your answers in? Great. Okay, on to question 5.
I think Vettel's got Wade. Yeah, he's got Wade. He turned in too late. He got the tyres. Button leads the Grand Prix.
So this was the last lap of the longest Formula One race in history, when Jenson Button took the lead from Sebastian Vettel in the damp, dry conditions at Montreal. But, for your point, which turn did Button pass Vettel at? Was it turn 2? Was it B, turn 3? How about turn 5? Was it turn 6? Turn 10? Or was it turn 13? An incredible race. I was soaked to my skin, having waited in the paddock for the majority of it to speak to Lewis Hamilton, who crashed out earlier. You, however, can enjoy the race completely in the dry anytime you want on F1 TV. Now, though, we are starting the last lap of the last lap lunges round with a last lap lunge symbolic of the championship battle in 2016.
In towards turn 2, his teammates got the inside line, they've touched again! Hamilton runs wide!
Now, you probably remember this famous collision between Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton in Austria 2016. But do you remember which 3 drivers were on the podium after that contact on the final lap? Was it A, Hamilton, Räikkönen and Rosberg? Was it B, Vettel, Verstappen and Hamilton? Was it C, Verstappen, Rosberg and Vettel? D, Rosberg, Hamilton and Verstappen? E, Hamilton, Verstappen and Räikkönen? Or was it F, Verstappen, Ricciardo and Hamilton? And if you've managed to not go cross-eyed figuring that one out, a reminder, you can hear Nico talking quite frankly actually about that moment with David Coulthard in our recent F1 Unscripted episode. So with that last question done, if you enjoyed it, excellent, because the next round is all about Formula One podiums. Round 4 is Where's This Podium? Now, depending on your levels of F1 geekery, this is either going to be your favourite or least favourite round. I'm going to show you 3 drivers and their finishing positions, and all you need to do is correctly tell us the race. You ready? Let's go. Question 1. Where is this podium? On the top step, Nino Farina. In second place, Luigi Fagioli. And in third, Reg Parnell. Was it A, the 1950 British Grand Prix? Was it B, the 1950 Italian Grand Prix? Was it C, the 1951 French Grand Prix? Or D, the 1951 British Grand Prix? How about E, the 1951 Italian Grand Prix? Or was it F, the 1952 Belgian Grand Prix? That's one for all you history nuts out there. If you want a little clue, all 3 of them were driving in that race for Alfa Romeo. So, on to question 2. And it's one a little bit more up to date. One from the 1990s. Our next podium has Alain Prost in first, Ayrton Senna in second, and Michael Schumacher in third. Here are your choices. A, the 1992 Belgian Grand Prix. B, the 1992 Italian Grand Prix. C, the 1993 South African Grand Prix. Or D, the 1993 San Marino Grand Prix. What about E, the 1993 Spanish Grand Prix? or F, the 1993 Canadian Grand Prix? Early days then in Michael Schumacher's career, those three drivers between them collectively amassed an incredible 14 World Championships. Okay, on to podium 3, something a little fresher in the memory from last season. In first, Charles Leclerc. In second, Valtteri Bottas. And in third, Lewis Hamilton. I actually can't remember which race this was. But can you? Which race saw this podium? Was it the 2019 Bahrain Grand Prix? Was it the 2019 Spanish Grand Prix? How about last year's Hungarian Grand Prix? Was it the Belgian Grand Prix, the Italian Grand Prix, or was it the 2019 Singapore Grand Prix? 3 questions down in this round. Are you loving it or hating it? Here's our fourth podium. In first, Mark Webber. In second, Sebastian Vettel. And in third, Robert Kubica. That was the finishing order, but what was the race? Was it the 2009 German Grand Prix? Was it the 2009 Brazilian Grand Prix? What about the 2010 Spanish Grand Prix? The 2010 Monaco Grand Prix? The 2010 British Grand Prix? Or the 2010 Hungarian Grand Prix? That, of course, one of 12 podium finishes for Robert Kubica before the injuries sustained in a rally crash cut that part of his Formula One career short. Listen to his episode of the Beyond the Grid podcast where he talks about his very promising career and, of course, the contracts that have been laid in place for what could have been a very promising future. Let's see what podium 5 looks like. It's a Fernando Alonso victory, but in second place is Sergio Perez. Third is Lewis Hamilton. All you have to do is tell us the race. Was it the 2012 Malaysian Grand Prix? Was it the 2012 European Grand Prix? Was it the 2012 Italian Grand Prix? Or what about the 2013 Chinese Grand Prix? The 2013 Bahrain Grand Prix? Or the 2014 Hungarian Grand Prix? Sergio Perez, of course, something of a giant killer in Formula One and has finished on the podium a number of times. Second place, though, being his best result so far in Formula One. Does that help you to answer the question? On to the final podium then for this round, and we begin with Sebastian Vettel on the top step. In second was Danny Kvyat, and third, Daniel Ricciardo. Which race were these 3 drivers on the podium in this order? Was it the 2015 Malaysian Grand Prix? Was it the 2015 Chinese Grand Prix? Was it the 2015 Hungarian Grand Prix or the 2015 Belgian Grand Prix? Was it the 2016 Australian Grand Prix or perhaps it was the 2016 Chinese Grand Prix? Now, of course, both Sebastian Vettel and Daniel Ricciardo are race winners, but thus far, this was Danny Kvyat's best result to date as we await the start of the 2020 Formula One season. Okay, last chance to get your answers in, because now it's time to move on to a picture round. And if you like team colours, then this one is definitely for you. Round 5 then is livery history. We're going to show you a set of simplified team liveries as a palette. And they're going to appear in chronological order, sort of like a mobile phone wallpaper or a set of beautifully painted nails. You just need to tell us which team has sported these colours in their history. Let's start with an easy one. Which team would you associate with this simplified livery timeline? No multiple choice this time. We're just looking each time for a simple one-word answer. Okay, on to livery history number 2. Same rules, your one-word answer. Which team has carried these colours over their years? Ready for number 3? Okay, here it is. Now these are, remember, just select palettes from their history, not every single consecutive colour scheme. That would take forever. But they are in chronological order. Which team do you associate with these colours through time? A one-word answer again when you think you've got the answer. Here's our next livery, question 4 in this round, and this one has seen quite a bit of change over the years. Again, these are 6 significant schemes throughout the history of a famous Formula 1 team. When you think you know, write down your one-word answer. Last livery now, and you might not need all 6 colour schemes to guess this. And again, if you do look at all 6, it may confuse you even further. One word, once again, is all we're looking for the team name. Okay, not long now to find out how you've done, because here comes the final round. Round 6 is your opportunity to show how well you know the Formula 1 race circuits of the world in a round that we're calling Turn by Turn. We've got 6 onboards to show you. You just need to tell us which circuit they're from. Aha! Not quite that easy though. You're not going to see any of the actual track itself. All we're going to show you is the steering wheel alongside the onboard audio. Think you're ready? Let's take a look at the first one. We're starting from the start-finish line here, and your options are on screen now. Last few seconds of video. I'll give you a few moments to lock in your final answer before we get going with question number 2. And to make this one as easy as the first, once again, we're going to start from the start-finish line. Okay, once again, I will give you a few moments to lock in your final answer before we get on to our next lap. And again, we're going to start at the start-finish line. Get those answers in because we will start the final 3 laps in just a moment. And these ones are going to be a little trickier because we're going to start from a different point around each of the circuits. So here's turn by turn, question 4. A little bit of thinking time before we get ready to dive in once again mid-lap for the next track. Okay, last lap now, guys. And again, we're going to start mid-lap. So take a look at this. Was that Marina Bay in Singapore? Was that Albert Park in Melbourne? Maybe it was the Hungaroring. Maybe it was Sochi. Was it Monaco? Or was it Baku? Here is a bonus question. Just a bit of fun. No points allocated, just to test your grey cells. You can work on it in your own time, and we will be bringing you the answers at the start of next week's quiz. Okay, here is your bonus question. Name as many constructors as you can who have scored Formula One podiums with Ford power? Now, when we say Ford, we mean Ford, not Cosworth. To our minds, anyway, there are 21 possible answers here. Don't look it up. Just search inside your memory, see if you can figure them out. Good luck. Okay, time for the answers. Time to see how you did. If you're playing along on Formula1.com, make sure you've submitted all your answers, and you should, by now, have been given a score. So this is the opportunity for you to figure out which ones you got right and which ones you got wrong. For everybody who's playing along at home on a piece of paper, this is where you find out how much you scored. Okay, here are the answers for round 1. Question number 1, it was, of course, Felipe Massa, who claimed a home victory in the final race of 2008. Who could forget it? World champion for 20 painful seconds. Question number 2. Fernando Alonso famously won the European Grand Prix at Valencia in 2012, but from where did he start? P11. Question number 3. The most home wins for a team? Ferrari. Question number 4. Nigel Mansell smashed the lap record how many times on way to victory at Great Britain in 1987? It was 11. Question number 5. It was Alain Prost's 19th race start on which he secured his maiden Formula One win. Quite incredible. Question number 6. The last for home wins. The only driver of these 6 to have secured the Drivers' Championship at their home Grand Prix was Nino Farina. So how did you do with that round? All 6? Great. Time to move on now to Radio Gaga, round 2. So, round 2, question 1. This animation took its classic audio from Lewis Hamilton's team radio at which race? It was, of course, Germany 2018. Question number 2. What did Fernando Alonso not want to do in this radio clip? Let's see.
Okay, Fernando, NASA is 7.5 seconds back. We must save fuel. We must target 0.
I don't want.
Well done if you said save fuel. Round 2, question 3. This iconic and actually very early recording from Team Radio is from 1991 and Senna's first win in front of his home crowd in his home city of Sao Paulo. Question number 4. We wanted to know what the next 2 words were in Seb's radio from Spain 2016. Let's listen in and see if you were right.
If I don't avoid that, he's just going straight to my car. Honestly, what are we doing? Racing or ping pong?
The answer, of course, was ping pong. Well done if you remembered. On now to question 5. Who is Kimi talking about when he says he wants to hit him when he sees him later? It's Sergio Perez. And the final Radio Gaga question, this radio message from Pierre Gasly.
Unbelievable! Unbelievable! Congrats, guys! Grazie mille a tutti! Fantastic job! Now we can fight!
Which was a poke at this one.
Long winter, long seasons in the past, but now we can fight. We can fight.
From Fernando Alonso in Melbourne. Round 3, and we begin, actually, back where we started this quiz, right at the start of round 1. Felipe Massa's home win at Sao Paulo. It was in Brazil that the 2008 title was decided on that last lap. Who was Sainz's move on in Abu Dhabi? Yep, it was Nico Hülkenberg. Which brings us to question 3. Kimi Räikkönen put the move on Giancarlo Fisichella in Japan 2005. It was a monstrous move, so let's have a little look at it.
Oh, they nearly touched. Can Räikkönen sweep in? Yes! What a brilliant move!
Okay, On to question 4. Here's the move that earned Verstappen the time penalty in America in 2017, and of course, he put the move on Kimi Räikkönen and briefly stole the podium away from him. All right, on to question 5. Sebastian Vettel slid deep and allowed Jenson Button through at turn 6 at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. And from turn 6 to question 6, after Rosberg and Hamilton came together in Austria 2016, who was on the podium? It was Hamilton, Verstappen and Kimi Räikkönen. On to round 4, and the podiums in question were, first of all, the 1950 British Grand Prix, the very first race of the Formula 1 World Championship. Next, these 3 famous world champions were on the podium at the 1993 Spanish Grand Prix. This, a podium from last year, the 2019 Italian Grand Prix. Next up, the 2010 Monaco Grand Prix, 2012 and Malaysia for the next one. And finally in this round, it was the 2015 Hungarian Grand Prix. So that's your podiums round. On next to the liveries round. Livery number 1, an easy one for everybody, I hope, because it was, of course, Ferrari. Livery number 2, first and last ones here may have been the big giveaways. It was Jordan. Historic liveries number 3. Some great liveries in this one. The answer, of course, Benetton. Then the set of liveries number 4. Tricky. A couple in there that might have thrown you. This one was Brabham. And finally, in the livery history, some iconic 80s and 90s liveries in here. Again, tough if you didn't know it, but the correct answer was arrows. Final round now, where you had to identify the racing circuit from just the steering wheel movement and the sound of the engine. We're going to replay them uncropped, so here we go. We had, up first, the Hungaroring. Track 2, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. Track 3 here, the Suzuka International Racing Course. We started track 4 midway through the lap. Did you get it? It was the Red Bull Ring in Austria. Another tricky mid-lap section now, and this one was the Bahrain International Circuit. And the last question of the last round, and it may have thrown you given that there was a bit of sunlight creeping in around the edges. This was a lap around a track we usually run at night. It was the Marina Bay Circuit in Singapore. So how did you do? Some easy ones in there, some not quite so easy ones in there, but we hope above all it's proved to be a little bit of fun before racing gets back underway in July. For now though, you can keep up with everything to do with Formula 1 on F1.com, celebrate 70 years of the sport on F1 TV. But for now, from us, thanks for tuning in.
If I was born to be a winner, then I'ma grow up to be a go-getter. Blood, sweat, and tears written in the blacks of kings. 1 in a million, the billions that have the same.